Right now at 10, a new tool being used at an area prison to help break the ice of drug addiction. And a plan that is intended for transparency is confusing some patients. And the government shutdown continues into week 3. We have more on the efforts being made to end it.
This is News 3 at 10.
The Lake Mills community gathered to honor Fire Captain Chris Truman today. He died after being hit while assisting a driver on the Beltline New Year's Eve. While the memory of Monday night is still fresh, his family is choosing to remember the better times with the man they loved.
Firefighters that are volunteers or, even in a full-time in a smaller community, they know everybody.
The first week of the new year is often spent thinking about the year gone by, looking forward to a fresh start. For the community of Lake Mills, that means learning how to live without a man they loved.
So the whole community has really lost a friend, co-worker.
Chris Truman was killed on New Year's Eve when he was hit by a car. He had stopped on the Beltline to help a woman who crashed her car during Monday's snowstorm. During Saturday's visitation at Lake Mills High School, hundreds gathered to remember a 13-year firefighter, a fisherman, a fiance, and a brother.
My brother would be missed by everybody in the community and everybody he touched and knew.
Truman's older brother says he always went out of his way to help those in need.
He's the best person in the world to give everything, to go out of his way to help you. If he didn't know you, he didn't care.
Fellow firefighters from across the state are traveling to Lake Mills this weekend to pay their respects. Lake Mills Fire Chief Todd Yandre says this support shows the depth of the firefighting community.
The fire department brotherhood is showing a lot of support. We suffered a loss. We've grieved. We need to, celebrate Chris's life.
Truman will be remembered as many things in the Lake Mills community, now adding a new title, Hero.
I'm going to miss my brother a lot, but he's always going to be here with me. And that's all you can say.
A funeral service will be taking place tomorrow, also at the high school from 2 to 3 o'clock. Meanwhile, surrounding area crews are covering shifts for the Lake Mills Fire Department. In a Facebook post, the Lake Mills Department offered special thanks to Sun Prairie, Edgerton, and Marshall, who are all helping out so the Lake Mills firefighters can prepare and focus on this weekend's events honoring Captain Truman. 2 Lake Mills businesses are holding fundraising events in honor of Captain Truman. The Lake Mills Market grocery store has started a donation drive in his honor, and the Culvers in Lake Mills will be holding a fundraiser on Tuesday. The restaurant said it will donate 10% of sales to the Lake Mills Fire Department. Police have an alleged robber in custody after they say he tried to rob 2 gas stations overnight. The first happened at the Quick Trip on the 2600 block of Fish Hatchery Road. An employee working at the time says Anthony Post entered the store with what looked like a gun, but when the employee pointed out it was a BB gun, Post left the store and robbed the Speedway station just down the street minutes later. Fitchburg police caught and arrested him as he was trying to get away. Post now faces attempted armed robbery charges in Madison, and additional charges are expected in Fitchburg. It has now been nearly a week since the death of 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes, who was shot and killed in Houston, Texas, when someone opened fire on her mother's car Sunday morning. Today, a community rally was held in Jasmine's honor ahead of her funeral set for Tuesday. That funeral will be held in remembrance of Jasmine and all murder victims in the Houston area. Authorities say they are interviewing persons of interest at this time. There is currently a $75,000 reward for anyone who has information that could lead investigators to the person responsible. On Capitol Hill, the government shutdown continues. Tomorrow marks what will be the start of the 3rd week of the partial government shutdown. Congressional aides and White House officials met earlier today to continue negotiations. After the meeting, the Vice President's office issued a statement calling the discussions productive, and both sides plan to meet again tomorrow. Yesterday, President Trump said it could last months or even years. He also said he's willing to use emergency powers to divert Pentagon funds if necessary in order to build a border wall, which has been at the core of the shutdown disputes. The shutdown impacts about 800,000 federal workers across the nation. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said next week House Democrats will begin passing bills to reopen government agencies, starting with the Department of Treasury and the IRS. All right, let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with your first alert forecast. We had another sunny day here in Madison.
And Amanda, temperatures were insanely mild thanks to that sunshine. Highs in the low 50s for some of us across southern Wisconsin, but we do have those clear skies in place still in downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. So those temperatures have tumbled quite a bit. We're in the upper 30s right now. North-northwest wind at 3 miles per hour in Madison. Some other temperatures into the 20s in Boscobel and Lone Rock, 37 in Monroe and 36 in Janesville. Quite a bit warmer still for many of us compared to this time on Friday. Your day planner for tomorrow, some changes will come our way. We'll still be above average in temperature land, mind you, but those temperatures are going to be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler compared to what we experienced today. Clouds will be with us. I think much of the day will be dry, but then as we head later into Sunday and into Monday, that changes with some rain and possibly some snowflakes and mixed precipitation on the way. We'll explore that possibility in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin wants to fine business owners who leave their doors and windows open too long while running air conditioners. The plan is part of the city's fight against climate change. The ordinance would fine violators $50 for the first offense and $100 for the second offense. And following offenses would cost $250. Soglin will formally introduce the plan to City Council on Tuesday. A new federal rule means you can find the prices in area hospitals that they will charge for medical services online. But according to the Wisconsin Hospital Association, it's not the best way for patients to find out what they might actually pay. Senior Vice President of Finance, Brian Potter, says that's because the prices are listed using medical jargon, and the charges are shown in bits and pieces of what goes into a procedure rather than what a patient might pay in total for a full knee replacement, for example. Potter says they don't necessarily reflect what the patient ends up paying after insurance is involved. Instead, he suggests the website Price Point, which has been around for years in Wisconsin.
With our website, you can actually, a consumer can go in, compare multiple hospitals on an apples-to-apples comparison of a knee replacement or a colonoscopy or all of those things.
You can find a link to area hospitals, service charges, and the Wisconsin Hospital Association's price transparency on our website, channel3000.com. In Milwaukee, one local official says he wants to work with others nationwide to help legalize marijuana here in Wisconsin. Milwaukee County District Attorney John Chisholm says he wants to work with district attorneys from other states where marijuana is already legal to talk about ways to regulate the process. In November, many municipalities in Wisconsin, including here in Dane County, voted in favor of a referendum to legalize marijuana for recreational use. That vote was simply to gauge opinion. Chisholm said it would help relieve the state's prison system.
I believe that overall it would lessen the load on the criminal justice system, but understand that it would increase the load on the regulatory side. So you would have to have people that were enforcing the laws related to the sales of marijuana, and if there's any violence or history of violence associated with the activity, we're going to prosecute that.
The DA says regulations would need to include making sure kids don't have access to the drug, along with preventing impaired driving and other behaviors. A new proposal would bring a popular rental scooter company back to Wisconsin. The city of Milwaukee banned Bird scooters last summer after city officials claimed the company showed up unannounced in the city. State Representative Cindy Duchow of Delafield says she will introduce legislation this session to allow for smartphone-controlled scooters like Bird scooters to be allowed in the state again. Bird voluntarily removed their scooters last summer after the city threatened to seize them. 2 days before his inauguration, Governor-elect Tony Evers invited area families to a children's gala. Participants came to the Madison Children's Museum to play with the exhibits, eat snacks, and enjoy music. Evers addressed children and family members while holding his granddaughter, Hannah. The event was meant to highlight the importance of education and the future of the state's youth. According to Evers, the gala is also meant to make an impact on the children.
These kids' gala are all about several things. One, kind of bringing people together and reinforcing the fact that education and what we do for our young people is exceedingly important. But we also are hoping that some of the young people think about, okay, this is a really important time.
Evers and Lieutenant Governor-elect Mandela Barnes will also hold a children's gala in Appleton tomorrow. The governor-elect also shared some of his plans for his first week in office, saying that while the transition has gone well so far, there's a lot to look forward to.
Well, they're going to be busy doing issues around the budget primarily. We will be meeting with individual legislators. We're going to visit Lincoln Hills juvenile facility in northern Wisconsin, and primarily just continue reaching out the way we are today.
Evers will take the oath of office during his inauguration on Monday. Meanwhile, Governor Scott Walker is preparing to leave office. Tomorrow may be his last day on the job, but he says he's excited for his next chapter, which could include being back in office. Walker says a big part of his next year will involve speaking all over the country, advocating for what he calls a positive conservative alternative when it comes to fiscal policy. He also plans to dedicate his work in the next 2 years to helping President Donald Trump get reelected, including forming a team with the state party to help Trump win Wisconsin in 2020.
I just think it's going to be critically important for the 2020 election that we carry the state of Wisconsin. And so there's things, even just personally, having learned from this last campaign, things I think we need to improve on, reaching out, get more people involved, get more people registered.
After the 2020 election, Walker says a return to office is possible from U.S. Senate to another run at governor or higher. Until then, he'll be living in downtown Milwaukee. Coming up next, going the extra mile for a pretty cool birthday celebration for a special teen. And that was just the beginning. A look at the love truck drivers are still showing a Rock County teen. Welcome back. A local nonprofit dog rescue is welcoming 10 new dogs into Wisconsin after they were saved from high-kill shelters in Texas. 10 dogs safely arrived in Abbotsford near Wausau to be either taken home or fostered until a home is found. It's thanks to the Holster Rescue Group, a nonprofit organization in Wisconsin that rescues dogs from kill shelters. The rescue runs solely through donations and volunteers to save the lives of pups who might otherwise not make it.
All of the dogs are either owner surrenders or they're strays. Texas is one of the states that has the biggest issue with overpopulation.
The dogs are fully vetted and healthy before being brought to Wisconsin. If you'd like to donate to Holster Rescue, or if you're interested in adopting a dog, you can check out the Rescue's Facebook page. If you travel with an emotional support animal, there will soon be new rules you'll want to know about. United Airlines is changing its policies on emotional support animals on its flights starting this coming Monday. With the change, support animals will not be allowed on flights longer than 8 hours. United says it's seen more onboard animal-related incidents, adding many are not used to spending so much time on a plane. In addition, United won't allow kittens or puppies less than 4 months old as support animals, in-cabin pets, or service animals. The airline says animals that young typically haven't had all the necessary vaccinations. United joins Delta and Spirit in changing similar policies on emotional support animals. Delta and Spirit now require at least 48 hours notice to bring service animals on flights, as well as extra documentation. It's a gift that keeps on giving. A community of semi-truck drivers continuing to serve one Rock County family. Adam Duxter joins us with what truckers are doing for a boy they call Bubba.
Well, Amanda, it's been nearly 5 months since Dakota Cad's out-of-this-world birthday party, but the relationship he has with the truckers he loves is still going strong.
There's a hug for you, buddy.
The last time we caught up with Dakota Cad, or Bubba, he was celebrating his 16th birthday in style. The Rock County teen has Dandy Walker syndrome and cerebral palsy, but has always loved trucks. The word of his love spread, leading thousands of people to come to that one-of-a-kind party.
From turning the corner to come into the park and telling Dakota, look at all the trucks. They're here for your birthday. And he pointed to himself and said, me?
These days, Bubba is back at home. His life, for the most part, back to normal. Although now he's a bit of a celebrity in his hometown of Milton.
Folks come up to us, oh, I saw the video. It's a great thing what the truckers did for your son. And Dakota we'll go out to eat and he wants to get a picture with everybody at the restaurant.
His family still trying to express their gratitude.
It's definitely been a whirlwind.
But the surprise is not over yet.
And they built Dakota a semi-truck play structure, and it's beautiful and it's huge.
A semi-truck for Bubba to call his own, and a special chair that can take him places he's never been able to go before.
This can go through the snow, through the mud, through the sand, and pretty much get him where he wants to go.
But most of all, Bubba's family says they have a new community of support and love, something they hope can now be used to help others.
I think our feeling is we just want it to spread. We want it to be now another child. There's got to be, lots of other families out there and other children that would love a truck and love to see the trucks.
That truck driver who got Bubba that brand new wheelchair also got all of his brothers and sisters brand new bikes as well. And again, this all started over the summer when one truck driver threw a hat and a t-shirt over the fence to Bubba. Just goes to show how much good can come from one small action.
The Cad family says they've gotten invitations for Dakota to appear at truck shows and even took a trip to the world's largest truck stop. A heartwarming story out of Rock County. Thank you, Adam. All right, let's send it to Dave Caulfield. Interesting day. It was pretty beautiful.
Yeah, this weather, Amanda, was not only heartwarming, it was body warming because it was just plain warm outside with temperatures near 50 for highs in Madison, 52 the high in Janesville. We were actually only 1 degree off our record set back in 2012 in Madison this afternoon. Right now, those temperatures have dipped into the 30s in downtown Madison as we're looking at mostly clear skies on the Edgewater Skycam. Normal is 26 for this time of year, so we basically doubled that on the thermometer reading today. And when you compare it to last year at this time, remember, we started off 2018 on a very cold note. It's just an even more staggering comparison. So the high last year on this date was 8 degrees, not the low, that was the high temperature. A little bit warmer this time around with temperatures near 50. And I think we'll be still warmer than normal tomorrow, but we'll be in the 30s, so a little bit closer to where we should be. Right now, those temperatures are in the upper 30s in Madison, 30 even in Watertown, 34 in Janesville, and into the 20s in Lone Rock and Boscobel. And for most of us, we're still running about 5 to 10 degrees warmer compared to this time yesterday. I mentioned we'll be in the upper 30s for highs tomorrow with the clouds around, and then a warm front comes through on Monday, knocking our highs back into the mid to upper 40s and close to 50 degrees, depending on how much strength that warm front has. But we'll be back into the 30s on Tuesday and actually closer to where we should be on Wednesday. So a bit of a temperature roller coaster, to say the least, to start 2019. So hang on tight over the next couple of days. Overnight becoming mostly cloudy with temperatures falling into the mid-20s. For tomorrow, breezy and colder with some rain and possibly some mixed precipitation developing during the evening hours. Let's take a look at that on future tracks. So the clouds are increasing throughout tonight into tomorrow, but I think much of the day remains dry. However, early on when that rain is coming through, and that will be very late on Sunday into early Monday, some of that rain could be mixing with some snow or some freezing rain at times. We'll watch that closely. The good news with this forecast is temperatures warm up quickly enough, and that rain will come through in such a time where I don't think we need to worry about slick roads, because that rain will wash any slush or ice away quickly on Monday morning. So that's not a major concern with this forecast. However, some of us could pick up quite a good chunk of rain to start 2019. About a half an inch to, in some spots, close to an inch of rain is possible as we head into later on Monday. And then for Tuesday, we should dry out, which is good news. 7 to 10 day forecast showing those temperatures in the mid-20s on Wednesday. Thursday, we're near 30, so closer to normal with that sunshine. And then Friday and Saturday, some light snow is possible. We're watching that system closely as well. The good news is I don't think we need to worry about slick roads, because we already experienced some of that to end last year and begin this year. So just looking at some rain and some windy conditions on Monday. Amanda?
I still can't believe 8 degrees last year.
Yeah, that was a rude welcoming for me to Madison.
Definitely. Thank you, Dave. The Badgers trying to bounce back against a tough Denver squad. Melissa Kim has that next in sports.
Well, Wisconsin didn't get off to this start that they really wanted to in 2019, but battling back tonight to try and split the series at least against 8th-ranked Denver. Jack Barry making his first start in goal since November 23rd. In the first period, Dominic Mersch deflecting the shot from Tyler Inamoto for the goal. Wisconsin up 1-0 early. Little later in the period, Brock Caulfield on the breakaway, taking advantage of Denver's line change there. A backhand shot to light the lamp. 2-0 Badgers. Pioneers answer to tie it up, but Wisconsin on the power play in the second. Wyatt Kalnick hitting up Matthew Freitag, winds up and fires one into the net. Badgers up 3-2, but Denver coming back to tie it up and more. Badgers lose in overtime 4-3. Bucks playing back-to-back, a much more competitive affair tonight, hosting the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. First half action, Bucks up 7, adding to the lead here. Chris Middleton pulls up for the 3. He had 14 points tonight, but Kawhi answers back. Swish for a 3-ball for him, led Toronto with 30 points. Just for halftime, Middleton to Giannis for the alley-oop. Game high 43 points and 18 rebounds, but that wasn't enough for the Bucks tonight. Their 5-game win streak comes to an end, 123-116 the final. The Badgers men's basketball team in Pennsylvania tonight, ahead of their game against the Nittany Lions tomorrow night at 6:30. The team aiming to bounce back after losing back-to-back games for the first time this season. History is working in their favor, though. Wisconsin, they've won 10 in a row over Penn State. That includes 6 consecutive wins on the road. So consistency will be key when it comes to getting those wins. That's according to head coach Greg Gard.
I don't like to always pinpoint one specific person and say that's the reason why we didn't have success tonight. It's a team, you know, and we'll find things that we do really well together, and then there's things that we got to get better at and trying to become consistent. That's what we talked about after the game. It's, you know, we've done some really good things, but we've got to continue to play at a higher level for a complete 40 minutes, and then we'll get the results we want to get.
Well, future Wisconsin quarterback Graham Mertz isn't scheduled to arrive on campus until next week, but he's certainly proving that the hype around him is for real. He played at the All-American Bowl today, a game featuring 100 of the best high school seniors in the country. He didn't just casually play in the game, he dominated. In the first half, airing it out to Dominic Blaylock, he was heading to Georgia for a 57-yard touchdown play, putting the East up first 7-0. And that was just the beginning for Mertz. He ended up completing 7 of 14 passes for 188 yards and 5 touchdowns, setting the record for passing yards and touchdown passes in this game. And for his efforts, he was named the MVP of the All-American Bowl, leading to the East to a 48-14 win. Wildcard week in the NFL, AFC action kicking the day off, featuring J.J. Watt and the Texans. They're hosting the Colts. Indy getting the offense going early. Andrew Luck to his right there. Eric Ebron there for the 6-yard score, 7-0 Colts. Later, Marlon Mack attacking that left side, short touchdown, 14-0. That's just at the end of the first quarter. To the second now, Luck to his left this time. Dontrell Inman, 18-yard play. 21-0 Indy. Colts win 21-7. They're headed to Kansas City next week to play the Chiefs. Cowboys just beat the Seahawks. They will face the Rams for the NFC next week. We'll be right back.
get back to winter eventually.
Yes, and a little bit closer to normal tomorrow, but still running above average. We're in the 20s and 30s for tonight, starting off in the mid-20s with clouds tomorrow. Clouds will be with us all day with highs in the mid to upper 30s. Then as we head into later on Sunday and Monday, some rain and some snow showers possible.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.